guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're using a team built around Sandy Shocks and Espathra. If you guys enjoy this video at any time, of course, make sure you leave a like below and subscribe, and answer the comment question of the day today. What is your favorite status in competitive? Mine's definitely freeze, but only when it happens to the opponent. Otherwise, it's probably burn because it's the easiest to take advantage of. But let me know your guys' answers below, and with that said, let's get into the team. This is a top 32 team built by Brass VGC, which also, of course, if you're looking on the regionals, it was Max Gelman's team. Went 8-2, so of course, this is a pretty terrifying team. I went 2-4 at Orlando, so, you know, weird flex, but, I mean, clearly this is a lot better of a player than I am. But I'll get into some changes, I guess, in case if you guys want to try and modernize this team a little bit for yourselves, because I do have a couple things that I would probably have done different if I was personally making the team, but the team itself is still fucking amazing. It's such a good team. First up, we do have AV Iron Hands with the Quark Drive ability, of course, with Wild Charge, Fake Out, Volt Switch, and Drain Punch. This is a Brave Nature, most likely for the slow Volt Switches. With the 236 attack, I'm not really sure what the investments actually are for on this Pokemon, I'm going to be honest. It's really the one thing that I can't really give too much info about because I just don't know what it's meant to do. It's one of a couple things, to be honest. But overall, this is obviously a really good sponge. With the Assault Vest, you could take hits from Pokemon like FLUTTER, for example, with Wild Charge being a really good way to put a lot of offensive pressure on FLUTTER, despite not having a way to boost your damage output. Vultures are great, especially in the Gothitelle meta. This is definitely a Gothitelle meta, to say the least. So having the initiative to get out of trapping is huge, with Fake Out being a great way to potentially get yourself a really good turn against an opponent, whether it's some random Focus Sash user or anything else. This was essentially a really amazing set for a best of 3 set for Open Team Sheet. With the Sandy Shocks up next. Now this team paste in particular has Terra Grass. I put Terra Ghost in the slide because I do recommend Terra Ghost. I didn't change it for the in-game, and I'll be honest, this is actually just off of a version of the team I was testing on ladder, so I forgot to change it for the slide. But we have Terra Grass in-game. It'll be on the rental code as well. If you are looking for another Terra type, though, I do recommend Terra Ghost. It does offer a little bit better opportunity against dual Fake Out, for allowing dual Fake Out shenaniganry, because you could Terra the Sandy Shocks if you need to guarantee the gravity to goes up. However, you could also go for the Terra on Espathra if you want to try and get a Lumina Crash off. So I do like that dual ability, though this team has Terra Grass actually, which is designed to help this thing take a little bit better hits from ground types. Now I'm not sure what the 204 special attack is for, but overall Sandy Shocks is a really good, oh, you know what, it's to guarantee the speed boosting. This is literally the maximum investment you can go while guaranteeing a speed boosting set. So this is essentially designed to make sure the gravity goes off as quickly as possible against opponents while allowing you to outpace base 100s. Moving on to FLUTTER, of course, we have the Life Orb set. Now this is 29 special attack, 29 HP. I'm not sure if the rental code has that, but again, another change that I made just to try and help you take less from Life Orb, because without going for the 4 in HP, you actually do take a whole extra base point of damage for the Life Orb hits. With Substitute as well, getting this odd HP number is pretty valuable, as you can guarantee get up an extra Substitute here. So it's in general just a pretty good HP number to hit. With Shadow Ball and Gleam, these are primary offensive options, with Gleam, of course, with the Terra Fairy being really deadly to a lot of opponents. Overall, really good offensive option. We have Espathra here with the Focus Sash Terra Ghost. This is designed to preserve Focus Sash without having to go for Protect on Fake Out mons. However, you still have it to try and gain your speed boost if you need to. Lumina Crash is great. It's a great psychic option to drop special defense of opponents by 2 stages. Essentially, this is the Gallery Zapdos of its format, because you could drop the defensive stat by an opponent by 2 stages with the primary stab, which is great when partnering with Sandy Shocks as well, because it's a special attacking gravity user. This also has Hypnosis, of course, to take advantage of the gravity that Sandy Shocks would provide, whereas Sandy Shocks would more so use it on its own set to try and hit flying types. So these two in tandem work out amazing together, in my opinion. Not final mon, actually. Up next, we have Amoonguss with the Terra Dark. Now, this essentially tries to give Amoonguss the best of both worlds, because you have the Terra Dark, which allows it to function like Bonnet and Wallet stuff like Armories, for example. Meanwhile, you have the Pre-Terra, which still gives you a Fairy Resist. And now, I know for a fact at the very least that this is a common EV spread on Amoonguss, but I don't really actually know what it's for, so if someone wants to answer that in the comments, that would be great. I have a few other teams actually coming up soon that have this spread, so I would love to see any sort of feedback on really what this set is supposed to do. I know in general, the moves in general are fairly good on Amoonguss, with Spore being great to put Pokemon to sleep, Protect is great to keep Amoonguss healthy, Rage Powder is great for redirection, and Pollen Puff is great to heal allies, especially stuff like the Iron Hands, as well as our final Pokemon being Arcanine. Now this is the Pokemon I probably know the least about what it's supposed to do, because typically I run a fast Arcanine, and I don't really know why you'd go this Spinef heavy, but I'm sure it's for something important to pop an Agua Berry range. With the Terra Grass, of course, this helps a lot with Great Tusk matchups, as well as Sandy Shocks, which are two really potent ground types that would otherwise pressure Arcanine significantly. You have the Willow Stop, obviously, which is to burn stuff like Great Tusk, Growing Moon, etc. A lot of physical attackers in this format in the higher echelon, so really valuable there. Meanwhile, Snarl is great to drop special attack from Pokemon. You have Protect, which is great just to stall out different turns, as well as maybe to get a little bit more damage in with Will-O-Wisp. Meanwhile, the Flare Blitz is just a great primary stab here. With that said, let's get right into the games. Until then, peace out, guys. Hey guys, we're here today using a team built around Sandy Shocks and Espathra. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a pretty prolific Hypnosis core. So, comment question of the day, what is your favorite status in competitive? Mine is probably Freeze. I love seeing the reaction to it. And yeah, if you guys enjoy it, leave a like below and subscribe for more. We're taking on Dragapult, Gothitelle, Rotom, Wash, Corviknight, Arcanine, and Sylveon. So essentially like a very anti-meta Mon team. No Paradox Mons is fairly interesting, but I like the concept a lot actually. Fairly strong team. We're going to lead off with Sandy Shocks, and we're going to lead off with Espathra. I'm going to assume that's not a Trick-Room Gothitelle, though it definitely could be. I'm going to bring the Flutter Mane just in case. And then Final Mon. I feel like that Final Mon kind of has to be the AMOONGUSS here. I feel like AMOONGUSS is really good, though I actually, you know what? No, I feel like it's gotta be Arcanine. Though, Arcanine, never mind, it's not really good for Arcanine. I think it kinda has to actually be Iron Hands. It's essentially guessing the Pult set. And I feel like this team leans a lot more to Special Pult, I feel like a Specs Pult. So I'm gonna bring Iron Hands. Though actually, no, never mind. I'm gonna bring Arcanine because Arcanine could, in theory, mess with both sets. So, we're gonna have to see. Good luck and fun. We'll have to see what happens. Also, by the way, I guess, really quick pointing us out, if my eyes are darting around a bit, I'm actually recording this on 2 separate OBS windows. I'm finally learning how to properly record my footage just like a professional, so I can green screen out better for shorts. So in case you guys see my eyes darting around a bit more and not looking direct at camera, that's why. It's gonna take a bit of getting used to, obviously, because it's a very different recording setup, to say the least. But yeah. So what I'm going to proceed to do turn 1, I'm going to go for the Terra, and I'm going to, actually no, I have to go for Protect. It's the unfortunate thing. The team that I'm using, the only issue that I have with it, and I get why they did this. It's not that it's a bad team design, but I personally like the idea of going with Terra Ghost on both these Pokemon to preserve the fact that Espathra's Focus Sash and to avoid Fake Outs on Shocks for turn 1. However, it's not a bad idea because I get the defensive merit here of trying to make this thing not weak to ground types anymore and making it resistance, in fact. So I get the merit, and Grass is a generally good defensive typing on a Pokemon like this, but it does make these sort of turns a little bit annoying, to say the least. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the Gravity on Sandy Shocks, and then let me actually double check my speed tiers because my Espathra, I'm curious about if it outpaces or not. Let's see, so my window is also recording wrong. God damn it. Okay. So we're gonna proceed to go for, so Espathra would outpace. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go for the, I kind of want to go for the Hypnosis here into the Gothitelle and just see if I land it. Just to see if I land it. I think that's probably the best play here. Now my opponent is going to end up going for Rotom. Okay, so Rotom, I'm curious if Rotom will get landed on this. We know that this Hypnosis did land. Okay, that's perfect. We'll definitely take that. That's a huge Hypnosis turn for us, actually. Getting this Rotom asleep should help a lot with avoiding stuff like Hydro Pump on my Sandy Shocks, and also making sure that we just go for Earth Powers pretty consistently. Because my opponent actually has no switch into this anymore. Not only this, but Dragapult can just get put to sleep on the next turn, which will be huge for us. Meanwhile, I can Earth Power right at that Rotom slot. There's no resistance on this team, actually, which is really huge. It's one of the things that I really love about Series 2 using a Mon like Sandy Shocks, is that most people still have yet to figure out that you should be packing on resistances, like actual grass types for Sandy Shocks. Because one of the most common movesets is Gravity at this point. It's really like the standard Shock set. If you're going to run Sandy Shocks, you're running it with Gravity. And most people seem to still forget that, which is really good, obviously, for these sort of scenarios. What I think I'm going to do, I might just Terra Ghost on Espathra, just to avoid the very obvious Fake Out turn here. Though I could obviously also go for, I could definitely go for a Protect. The issue being is that on the following turn, I might just lose Espathra, which is a little annoying. But I could put it to sleep at this point, however, which would be pretty nice. This Pult, I don't think it's going to be Sucker Punch Pult, though it could be with Phantom Force. It might actually be Sucker Punch Pult. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the Earth Power here. Try and break a very obvious, in my opinion, Focus Sash. And we'll go for Hypnosis into Gothitelle. Because I am anticipating the fact that this will be going for Fake Out this turn. I forgot to take notes this whole game, so I actually genuinely forget if it happens. But we'll have to see. I think it'll be a good turn for me for what it's worth. But this Terra is going to go off. We're going to pop the Terra Ghost here. And let's see. What is their sequence of plays? Because I feel like that we might end up winning off of this turn. Like, this could be the make or break for us. But Espathra is going to pop its Terra Ghost here. And Gothitelle is going to go for Fake Out. Okay, perfect. So the very obvious KO was red. And instead of the fact that my opponent will KO my Espathra, we're now putting my opponent's Gothitelle to sleep, which is truly amazing. It really is kind of ironic, but we'll definitely take it. Earth Power is going to go off into Pult. This does about half. Beautiful, beautiful turn. And we're going to continue to put this Pult to sleep. I'm going to go for an Earth Power into the Pult slot. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go for an Earth Power. Because I want to go for a Lumina Crash into the Goth slot, as I do think there's a chance that Goth might actually switch out here. And even still, I mean, dropping the Spidef will be huge, because on the following turn, I can KO Gothitelle with my Sandy Shocks, which will be amazing. The one concern I do have is maybe Gravity turns running out, but it's not really too big of a deal. My opponent doesn't have great switches to Thunderbolt anyway. The only Thunderbolt switching on this team actually being the Dragapult. Nothing else is a resistance here, which still works out well for me. Now, there is a concern, I guess, about Terra Corviknight. Because Terra Corviknight's typically running Dragon, but that just means it's weak to Earth Power. Well, not weak to Earth Power, neutral to Earth Power, which is still good for me. Really, it would just be a single turn that might be screwed up, I guess, but it's not a huge deal. Lumina Crash will go off in the Gothitelle. It's perfect. This means it's now fodder for Sandy Shocks next turn. Meanwhile, this Dragapult should just die to Earth Power. So, perfect. We've already KO'd a Pokemon. We know they have Rotom Wash as well, which is kind of fodder against a specific archetype, and it's asleep anyway, which is good for me. So, Gothitelle staying asleep here is pretty huge for us. What I think I'm going to do, if Rotom comes in, I'm going to Earth Power that, and I'll let Gothitelle stay asleep another turn by just dual targeting it. Meanwhile, oh, they disconnected. Okay, perfect. We already get a win here. We already get a win here with the bullshit cheese strats. Let's move on to game number 2, guys. So, moving on to game number 2, we're taking on a team consisting of Tyranitar, Houndstone, Great Tusk, Iron Bundle, Goldengo, and Talonflame. So I'm expecting Talonflame to lead here. I feel like that's a really objectively good lead mon. Probably with Great Tusk or with Goldengo. I feel like either one has merit. What I think I'm going to do, this is one of those comps where I don't know how confident I feel about leading off with Shocks, but I feel like Shocks is still not a bad lead. Trying to think out, I think that Sand is the end game here. So that means that I definitely need Hands in the back. I think Hands Arcanine in the back is really solid. I could bring Flutterman as well, though. I'm going to lead off with... I think I'm going to lead off with the core, actually. And then I'm going to bring Arcanine in the back. That will probably end up being my Terra... Well, that's the thing. I don't know if I can bring both of these, because essentially one of them has to be my Terramon. And the other one can't be. Well, actually, that's a lie. I don't know if I need to Terra Arcanine. I could probably just get away with Terraing Hands here. I could also just bench Hands, actually, for the Amoonguss. Amoonguss could be a pretty good option, I guess, for trying to redirect the Houndstone and burn it. That could be decent. Amoonguss also just could be decent here as a Terramon. I think that I'm going to go with that, yeah. I think I'm going to go with that. I know not bringing Hands to a game with a T-Tar might be a little bit of a choke, but in all honesty, I feel confident that I can just burn it. And I think burning it might be the better play here, as there's no guarantee that this will tear into a type that I can actually beat. It might tear into grass, and then bringing Hands is kind of useless. It's one of the magical things about bringing T-Tars. You have a lot of good Terra options. I know a lot of people go with flying, but you have so many good options with T-Tar. So turn 1, my opponent's actually just gonna bring the Great Tusk. So you know what? I will take that. I'm gonna go with the Terra Grass here and go for Gravity. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go for the Protect. I could actually just go for Lumina Crash, in all honesty. Lumina Crash into this spot feels not bad. I do anticipate they'll probably... Yeah, let's go for Lumina Crash. I don't know if I even need to Hypnosis spam against this team. It's obviously not going to be good against Goldengo. And I think that at the same time, just going for the Gravity turn 1 still has some merit for my later Pokemon. Just making sure, if nothing else, that Talonflame is grounded will, for one, be a really huge benefit here. And I could always just Protect on Shocks just to guarantee that I'm going to get the damage off first on Talonflame, which will be huge. They're going to Protect on Goldengo. Oh, this works out so fucking perfect for me, because that means they can guarantee not break a Focus Sash. So I'll take that. Let's see. So the question is the Great Tusk Focus Sash? It is Focus Sash. Okay. That's honestly fine. I don't mind the Focus Sash. In fact, this works out amazing for me. So we're going to drop this Bidef here, and I'm curious, did they go for Earthquake? They did go for Earthquake. Okay, this is fine. Earthquake here isn't really a huge concern of mine, actually, because essentially what I can do here, they're not going to bring me down to Sash even. Beautiful. Okay. So, Great Tusk on a Earthquake. Okay. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the Earth Power. Actually, no, I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt here. I feel like a Thunderbolt plus Luminacrash will ultimately be more beneficial. And just taking out the Goldango, I think, will get me more points for later on. They're going to Protect on Tusk. Honestly, really, really beneficial side effect of this turn. I thought they were actually going to go for the Terra here. I thought they were going to go for Terra Flying and click another Earthquake. But this works out fine as well. Because essentially what my opponent has now done, they've now dropped their special defense, and they gave me a free turn to take out Goldango, which is, honestly, it might even be the better play for us. I can't lie. What I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go for... I kind of want to dual target the Talonflame when it blatantly does come in here. If they don't bring in Talonflame, I'm just going to kill... Okay, they don't bring in the Talonflame. That's also really good for us. Now, I do need to double check something because it does affect my play. Hypnosis... Because I'm curious if this actually hits Dark types. Let's see. No, I'm not looking for Hypnosis in my area. I'm looking for Hypnosis Pokemon. Here we go. Psychic. It's non-damaging Psychic attack. Yeah. Oh, wait. You know what? Dark. I meant for Dark types. Okay. So, doesn't mention, let's see. Can Hypnosis hit Dark types? Hypnosis can work on Dark type Pokemon. So we're going to go for an Earth Power into the Great Tusk, and then I'm going to go for Hypnosis into T-Tar. This will long-term benefit me more, in my opinion. The Great Tusk is going to fail to land a Protect here. Very unfortunate, but it is what it is. We are going to land the Hypnosis on T-Tar, which is really good for us. And then the Great Tusk is going to die, which works out amazing. Because essentially now I can actually go for a... I could probably just go for a pretty free Pounce. I'm anticipating that the last mon here is Houndstone. I feel like Houndstone is objectively the only Pokemon that could have been this 4th slot. Because I feel like that any other Pokemon that would have came as the very last Pokemon here would not have allowed T-Tar to come in 3rd. Like, I feel like, for example, trying to outline this, if Talonflame is coming in first, well, if Talonflame is coming in, Talonflame would have come in before Tyranitar to get up like a Tailwind or a Brave Bird and kill one of my Pokemon. So yeah, they did bring in Houndstone. Okay, that's fine. This doesn't really hurt me that much. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go for the Earth Power into the Houndstone, and I'm gonna go for a Hypnosis into Houndstone. Essentially, if they don't go for Shadow Sneak for some reason, this is fine. I can still get off a really damning hit here, and just try and take out the Houndstone before it's a threat. They did not go for Shadow Sneak. Beautiful. This works out amazing for us, actually, because we can take out the Houndstone. T-Tar is the least of my concerns here. This is one of those really deadly things about this lead, where if you give it one turn, it will run through a game. I won't act like it's the most broken core you could be using. It's far from it, though I probably clickbaited the video as such to get you to watch it. However, it's definitely a core that when you get one turn, you can win a whole game off of that first turn. And it's truly a thing where your opponent needs to be playing around that first turn. Not the whole game, the first turn. Which works out really amazing for situations like this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the Earth Power into T-Tar, and I'm going to go for the Luminacrash into Houndstone. Actually, no, I'm going to dual target the Houndstone. Because, again, the Tyranitar is the least of my concerns here. I'm anticipating my opponent to forfeit. I don't really put it past them, because how do they get out of this? I mean, they kind of just lose their Pokemon right here. Like, both of these Pokemon should crumble. And even if they get a first turn Wake Up on Houndstone, which I don't even think that they would get the Wake Up this particular turn. Oh, no. Even if they get a Wake Up this turn, right? And they Wake Up both Pokemon, I don't think it matters, actually, because I still have both my Pokemon at the back, and I should have a good time against Houndstone. Because I'll be able to intimidate it, which is great with, I believe I brought Arcanine. They're going to Terra here anyway. Okay, Terra's fine. I'm curious about the Terra type. I feel like that they're going to Terra the T-Tar. Perfectly fine. It's Terra Flying even. It sets me up even better for later on, in all honesty. The fact that this isn't going to be some sort of Terra Rock set, truthfully makes my matchup significantly easier. Luminacrash will go off into Houndstone, and this doesn't take it out, but that means that I can just take it out with Sandy Shocks in the following turn. The Earth Power actually outpaces this anyway, which is even better. I didn't think we would, in all honesty. So it's just Tyranitar left. Okay. So Tyranitar will probably wake up this turn. No, it doesn't. So they have another turn yet again to sleep. This means that I can just Luma Crash plus T-Bolt, and Tyranitar is officially gone. I'm anticipating an Assault Vest set. It might be Policy. Either way, though, the best thing they could do if their Policy is click Protect here, because it gets another turn of Chip on Espathra, and then I guess just forfeit afterwards. Like I don't know what they even gain from that, because they're just going to take even more damage from Sand, which means that they're even more in range. Yeah, so this Lumina Crash doesn't do a ton. That's fine. The super effective Thunderbolt at a -2 Tyranitar will OHKO, though. Beautiful. So we're already 2-0 for the day. Honestly, did not expect that. But let's get into game number 3, though. We'll see you guys in the 3rd match. Peace out, guys. Okay, so moving on to game number 3, we're fighting another fucking Sand team. Is this the same team? I think this is the same team we fought just before. I don't know if it's the same user, but it's definitely the same team. Let's see. I'll be honest, I didn't pay attention to who we were fighting, but it's definitely the same thing. Let's see. So, yeah, same exact 6 at the very least. I'm gonna go with the same fucking lead because they didn't beat it last time. I'm gonna bring, let's see. So they didn't bring Talonflame. They didn't bring the bundle. I'm gonna bring the AMOONGUSS this time. I think that'll match up pretty well. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Honestly, it's one of those things where if it truly is the same team, I might even just go for the same sequence of plays depending on how they go about this. Realistically, taking out the Great Tusk might be beneficial, though. If they lead off with Great Tusk Tango, I think I'm just going to dual target Tusk and just take it out. Just take it out. I don't even really need to click Gravity because I can kill the team later on anyway, especially if they don't bring Talonflame. And also not having to burn a Terra on Sandy Shocks might actually be the play because while it didn't hurt me last time, it didn't really benefit me either. For example, I could have kept the Seal Resist on Sandy Shocks, which could have been good. Let's see. So they're going to lead off with Talonflame and Great Tusk. Okay, so this is a lead combination that could actually be scary. Now, what I am going to do here is I think here I objectively need to actually go for the Terra Grass and then go for a Thunderbolt into the Talonflame. However, I could also just go for Protect here. No, I am going to go for the Terra Grass and go for Thunderbolt. This will help with taking the Great Tusk hit, and I'm going to go for Protect. This should hopefully take away priority later on from Talonflame, which is kind of my best play. It's not a great play, but it is my best one because they actually let off with the smart play. Which, again, I don't know if it was the same person or not, but if it was, it's already a smarter play. And if it wasn't, then this is still my best play, I think, objectively speaking. So we're going to see the Talonflame. I think this is a Talonflame Terra. I would be shocked if it isn't the Talonflame going for the Terra. No, it's a Great Tusk, actually. And it's going to go for the Terra Ground. Okay. So this is fine. Let's see. So Terra Ground. I'm curious if this means I didn't bring the Tyranitar, because I feel like the Terra Flying Tyranitar isn't terrible against my team. We're going to go for the Thunderbolt here. So they're going for like a taunt or something, and they lost their Talonflame. Why not just go for Tailwind? I feel like Tailwind was objectively their best play here. Well, Earthquake's gonna go off either way. Talonflame being gone, truthfully, makes this game significantly easier. I'm not gonna lie. But we've already taken out the Talonflame. We have already gotten the Great Tusk Earthquake, which is huge. We've gotten a Speed Boost on Espathra, which means that even if Bundle did come, unless it's Booster Energy, we're pretty set here. They are gonna go into Iron Bundle here. And they are going to be Booster Energy. Okay, it's still honestly fine. Because essentially they need to go for like an Ice attack, which works out well for me. I'm going to go for Gravity this turn. And then I'm going to go for the Lumina Crash here into the Great Tusk. I feel like realistically, I don't gain anything clicking Hypnosis this turn. The best thing they could do in theory would be going for Icy Wind. That would essentially put my Espathra in a standstill speed-wise. And then they could potentially take it out next turn in case of Focus Sash. No, they're just going to go for Freeze Dry. Truthfully, I don't mind because despite the fact that I won't have the Hypnosis up to spam as easily, their team's already kind of in checkmate because the fact that they have Iron Bundle, which is Booster Energy, it's not Focus Sash. They have a Great Tusk that's at -2. I still have very essential Pokemon to this overall game plan. I could just go into AMOONGUSS here. And then go for Lumina Crash into the bundle. Because essentially that would mean my opponent either has to go for Earthquake and probably take out their bundle if I don't. Or they need to go for Headlong Rush, which means it's going to dual target AMOONGUSS. Which might actually be my best play. Because I could try and force a KO on both their Pokemon. Yeah, that might actually be a good play. So we're going to go for the... No, actually what I'm going to do instead No, I am gonna go for the, no, I'm gonna go for the, yeah, I'm gonna go for the Rage Powder here. Nope. I'm gonna go for the Spore. I'm gonna go for Spore on Tusk. We know it's Focus Sash. And then I'm gonna go for the Protect on Espathra. I think they're gonna go for Icy Wind this turn. And I don't want to lose my Espathra just yet. So we'll have to see. Let's see. So did they go for Icy Wind? They go for Freeze Dry, actually. Okay, Freeze Dry is clever. I'll give my opponent that. That was a fairly clever play. We're luckily going to pop a Berry, though. And if they do target the Espathra, or if they go for like an Earthquake, I'm okay with this. I'm very okay with this, actually. They're going to go for Headlong instead. Headlong, and that's definitely into AMOONGUSS. I know the pad. Okay. So that's fine. Crit's a little unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. What I could do now is I can go for... So I think what I need to do here, I need to go for the Lumina Crash into the... I think I need to go for it into the Tusk. Because I no longer have the advantage of... Yeah, I no longer have the advantage of trying to... I need to bank on a Pump Dodge, essentially. Which is a little unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. I can KO the Tusk pretty confidently, and then I can go for Flare Blitz here. And then I can Lumina Crash in the following turn. Essentially, this will come down to, did Tyranitar come in the back or not? Which, if Tyranitar didn't come, and that's like a Goldango in the back, I think I can win this game, actually. But it's going to really bank on that. Also, it's going to bank on my opponent going for Pump and missing. That's another key thing that needs to happen here. They need to go for Pump and miss it, which they might do. No, they go for Icy Wind. Okay. So, this might actually be a game loss, which kind of sucks, but we'll have to see. It does depend on that last Mon, really. And also if I can KO the bundle here, which I don't know if I do. Yeah, we don't KO bundle. So I need to get really lucky and dodge. I need to dodge some hits, which we don't even know on what the other thing is. What's the last Pokemon here? It's going to be Goldango. Okay, so Goldango being around might not be the worst. What I can essentially do is I can go for the Flare Blitz. I need to go for Flare Blitz into the... I think it needs to be into the Goldango spot, because Goldango will have a guaranteed way of hitting me. And essentially, I need to bank on a Hydro Pump dodge there, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Good games to my opponent. I think this was the same person, so I think they knocked a second game off of me. I mean, obviously, I'll know when I'm editing this. But regardless, though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, leave a like and subscribe for more. Shout out to channel members being Josh K Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke Zero, Matt O'Shea, and Koemi. Your guys' support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to see some more content just like this, make sure to hit the channel member button where you'll get a bonus video every other week. On the even weeks of the month, essentially, you'll get a ladder vid, which the members will choose the challenge for. Tomorrow, we have a monotype video going up at 7 o'clock for Battle Spot to Master Ball. And I'm actually going to be recording it right now. I got the team ready, and it's going to be really fucking fun. Can't wait for you guys to see that, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys.